So I'm like, I'm gonna need my mom to help me get out this jam. I'm gonna need her to help me get out this jam. So I'm telling Kiki like, hey, I need to use the phone so I can call my mom. So she like, yeah, go ahead. So I go to the front. I grab the store phone. As I'm grabbing the phone, here come Roy walking in. So I'm like, I couldn't believe it. Like, time out. Like, time out. Okay. So he like, I'm waiting on you. How long you gonna take? I'm like, you ain't waiting on me. He like, come on, come outside. So I'm like, you can't stand in here if you ain't finna order. So he like, I ain't ordering nothing. He like, I'm waiting on you. I'm like, so I'm waving my hand. So Kiki like, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. She like, you can't sit in the lobby. Cause we had just chairs. It wasn't no tables. Was not a place that you could sit at. You just grabbing and going. But if you happen to stay for a long time, 30, 40 minutes, because people do order a lot. And when it's busy, you're waiting for 20 to 30 minutes. It's chairs out there. But it ain't no tables that you can sit and enjoy your food. You grabbing and you going. So he like, so she like, you gotta leave the lobby. Tell him we gotta leave the lobby if he ain't gonna order nothing. So he like, well, I'm gonna order some. So I'm like, whatever. So I called my mom. I ain't call her private. I called my mom. I'm like, come on, mom, pick up, pick up. It's just steady ringing. I'm like, ugh. I get the voicemail. I'm like, man. So, I'm upset. Like, pick up the phone, lady. You do not see me calling. You saw me calling earlier. I'm calling you back. Like, pick up the phone. So he like, all right, yeah, let me get some chili cheese fries. She like, where on the menu you see chili cheese fries? We do not sell chili cheese fries. So he like, well, let me get some plain fries with nothing on it. So she said, okay, plain fries. I'm like, don't take his order. She like, huh? I'm like, don't take his order. She like, why? I'm like, trust me, don't take his order. She like, ooh, okay, I trust you. She like, we're not gonna take your order. So he like, why not? He like, I want to order. She like, we can't take your order. He like, I want to let somebody else take my order if you don't want to take my order. So he started calling her out her name like a B. He started calling her out her name. So she like, boy, I come from, look, I got 4 brothers. Woo. So she's stepping off. I'm like, no, chill. So the phone ring, I pick up. I'm like, barbecue shack. So my mama like, you just called? Duh. The phone did not call you itself. Duh. So I'm like, I didn't tell her duh though. I'm like, yeah, mom. Like, can you come pick me up? So she like, I thought you was walking home. You supposed to been off. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you remember Roy? So she like, yeah. I'm like, he's at the store. She like, and why? I'm like, he followed me when I was on my way. He saw me. He followed me when I was on my way here. And he was riding a bike. And he been just in front of where I work at. I'm like, he want to fight me. She like, so what you want me to do? First off, what do you mean? What do I want you to do? What do you mean I want you to come get me? I'm like, can you come get me, mom? She like, you know what? It's like drama. It just follows you. You always into something. I'm on my way. Click. She hangs up on me. Right? So Roy's still in there having his moment. So Kiki like, do you want me to go get me a Shirley husband? I'm like, no. So now customers coming in. The phone ringing. So now we getting a little busy. So I'm like, all right, I know I'm off, but I'm going to help you still. So I'm helping her. Roy, he's still out in the front, right? Boom, my mom calls the store. She tells me to come outside. She calls it. She tells me to come outside, right? She like, I'm pulling up. Come outside. My mama tells me I'm pulling up. Come outside. So I'm like, okay. So I had already dropped these wings, and I dropped some okras on the side in the next basket. So I go tell Kiki, I'm like, hey, I dropped your okras and I dropped the chicken. I'm like, my mama just called. I'm like, I gotta go. All right. So she like, okay. She like, you gonna be okay? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, hey, I'll see you again. She like, it was nice working with you. I'm like, it's nice working with you too. So boom, I go ahead. I leave out. I get out there. I do not see my mom. I do not see my mom none whatsoever. I don't see her. Like, where are you, lady? Like, where are you? This is an open I should see you. Where are you? So Roy sees me. He like, oh. He like, don't be scared. He like, what's up? So he had his bike. So he, you know how you do your tires crazy? He skirt. right in front of me. He like, yeah, what's up now? He like, what's up now? He like, so you saw my bike? I'm like, I didn't say your bike. I'm like, move. So he like, yeah. Boom, he pushed me. I'm like, if you touch me again, I'm like, I'm gonna swing on you. He like, square up. He like, square up. He like, come on, let's get down. We live. So I'm like, all right. So now I'm in the front of the store. And the customers is coming in and out. Me and this dude about to square up. So I'm squaring up. So I grabbed the rocks. We had rocks. It was some rocks on the ground, like some rocks they put out there though. So when people drive up, it's a smooth for them. It's smooth. I scooped up the rocks. I got some rocks in my hands. He's like, "What you gonna do with that? Throw me? Oh, you gonna throw some rock?" So I'm like, "Come on, come on." So he swing, I move. I'm like, "Oh," he like, "Oh, you fast." So he act like he was gonna kick. He hit me, bow. But I swung, boom, I hit him. By the time I hit him, the way my mom drove up with the Cadillac truck, Joe, it was like a set it off moment. I saw, like, I was seeing it while it was happening. Mark pops out the truck while it's still kind of going, grabs Roy, full slang him. So he like, oh, y'all gonna try to jump me? So I'm like, come on. I'm like, no. You say you want to swing? He like, put the rocks out your hand. So I dropped the rocks out my hand. The rocks come out. Mark like, no, bro. I got it. This my beef. I got it. So Mark like, come on, fight me. He like, oh. He like, yeah, you the one I want. You the one that owe me the 300. So now he about to swing. So my mama like, Marky, you better chew him up. You better chew him up, Mark. I'm talking about chew him up all the way. Chew him up. So Mark, hurry up. Bum rush him. He tried to swing, but Mark get low. Mark bum rush. Boom. Mark gets on top of him. Boop, boop. He grabbed Mark. Roll up on top of Mark. My mama like, Mark, So the dude my mom grabbed the dude and pulled him off the top of Mark. Mark get back on. So now the people that's coming inside the shack, they like, hey. No, so they breaking it up. My mom like, don't touch my son. Don't touch that one with the hair. Don't touch that one with the hair. She just kept saying that. So they like, we gonna call the police. We gonna call the police. So Roy gets up. He tries to go for the bike. I go and run towards the bike. I see him getting up. The dude said he finna call. The customer dude saying he finna call the police. So Mark, they both stop fighting. My mama like, just don't touch the one with the hair. By that time, while they talking, I'm already walking to the bike. I grab the bike. I get the boom. I'm talking about the way I bit the bike. So Roy, he comes, as I'm doing it, he swing on me. Boom, here come Mark again. Don't hit my brother. So now I turns around. I get my lick back. Boom. Dude like, hey, stop. So now, Miss Shirley's husband, he came out. Now he sees me in the whole cahoots, right? He sees me in the situation. So Roy out there, he like, man, he like, y'all jump me. Bike messed up. He like, Roshan, come inside now. So my mama like, no, my son is off. He like, well, I need to see your son. It happened on my property, ma'am. You have nothing to do with it. My mama like, excuse me, I don't know who you, no, that's my son. I don't know who you think you're talking to. So now it's a whole bigger ordeal. So he like, Roshan, when you come back, we need to have a discussion of what just happened. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, Mom, let me just talk to him now. She say, and I said, no, you can't. Let's go. So we gets in the car. Gets in the car. My mom pulls off. Skirt. We get home, right? My mama like, what happened? She want to know the tea. I tell her straight what happened or what it was. So she like, that's what I'm talking about. I want you and Mark sticking together. Mark, anybody say anything, you go off. Rody Dody, anybody say anything. And I don't care what Miss Shirley and Miss Shirley's husband got to say. He came up to your job. You make sure you let them know that. I'm like, okay. Now still in the back of my mind, I feel like now my mama is on my side. She got my back. She kind of like chilled. All right. Mind you, I still got to go in the room and sleep on the floor. Now, but I want to ask her about going to this game. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to ask my dad or I'm not going to ask my mom. I'm going to come with an ultimate plan. Right? So I'm in the room and I'm brainstorming, right? I had a stressful day already. And I'm brainstorming. So I'm like, I want to do the game. I'm like, I want to ask my dad. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just be honest. I'm just going to ask my dad. So my mom is already in her jacuzzi time. I goes in there. I knocks on the door. My dad, he's in his room. I knock on the door. He like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, hey, Dad. He like, what's going on? He watching hockey. I'm like, so. He like, so, You and eggs, huh? I'm like, so right there, that killed me. They killed my confidence. I was like, I'm not gonna ask him anything because he brung up the egg situation. So I'm like, I'm not asking this man anything. I'm just keep it to myself, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like, I made a poor decision. He like, but you know better. I'm like, I'm sorry. He like, I expect so much more out of you. He like, you more like me. He like, take it easy, okay? I'm like, I understand. He like, and you'll get all your stuff back. He like, I'm gonna talk to your mom. I'm like, Dad, my back is hurting sleeping on that floor. My back is hurting sleeping on that floor. Like, I don't got I ain't got nothing but the walls to look at. I'm tired of chewing my nails, eating my skin, sitting there, talking to myself, becoming a friend, finding a friend in me. So I go in the room. He said he gonna talk to my mom. So my mom calls my name. Come do my back, Rody Doty. So now I'm scrubbing. I'm going in the bathroom scrubbing. My mom back. My mom said, you don't let nobody punk you. You don't let nobody mistreat you but me. Hold on, wait, time out. Wait a minute. Wait, what? Hold on. Nobody. So, she's kind of giving me like a little love, but a little bit of like, only I can do that. So I'm talking to her. So I'm like, Mom, I've been trying to do my best in school. She said, I'm proud of you. Because she didn't even acknowledge that I've been doing good in school. Even when I ran away, I was still going to school. So she gave me a little bit of like joyfulness, a little trophy, right? So boom, she like, I love you. She like, I hate that I got to do this to you, but I got to teach you tough love because I want you to make it in the world. I don't want people to run you over. She just giving me this script. She want me to be better than her. I go in my room. I still didn't tell them nothing about the game. Now I'm like, all right. They think I work nights. The game is later that day because it's tomorrow. So I'm like, it's later tomorrow. It's later that day. I can get away with it. So boom. The next day comes, it's time for me to go to school. I go to school. The coach, he sees me. He asks me straight up. He say, hey, you're going to be able to play? I say, when is the game? He said, well, it's at 5 o'clock. We're doing it at 5 p.m. I'm like, 5 p.m.? I'm like, okay. And I'm like, when the game will be over? He like, about 8 or 9. I'm like, okay. He like, do you want to go out to eat if we win? I'm like, well, I just can do the game. He like, did you ask your mom? He like, be honest with me. I'm like, no, I didn't ask my mom. He like, I'm like, but I can play. He like, don't get me in trouble. Your mom seems like she a little bit of, I'm like, yeah, she's a little bit on the loony side. I'm like, but don't worry. He like, all right, cool. So as I'm getting ready to leave out the gym, I see Brianna. So Brianna sees me, so I put my head down, I start walking. She like, can we please talk? I'm like, talk about what? She like, okay, I messed up and I'm sorry. And I want to talk to you. Can we talk?